Hi everyone, welcome to the course Become a Business Analyst, your path to success. As discussed earlier, this course is structured around the Babok guide and for simplicity is divided into 9 comprehensive modules. We have already completed modules 1 to 6. Module 1 provides an introduction to business analysis perfect for those new to the field or from non-IT backgrounds. Module 2 focuses on the Babok knowledge area strategy analysis where we learn how to define business needs, access organizational capabilities and recommend effective solutions. Whereas in Module 3, we dived into business analysis planning and monitoring, which is another knowledge area of Babok guide, where we explored how to plan BA work, identify stakeholders, choose the right elicitation technique, and monitor the performance of activities. In Module 4, we explored the requirement lifecycle management, where we covered all 5 key steps in detail and saw how each step helps keep requirements organized and under control throughout the project. In Module 5, Requirement Analysis and Design Definition, we covered defining and validating requirement, avoiding scope creep, designing effective solutions, using process modeling to improve workflows, and accessing project feasibility through cost-benefit analysis and ROI method. Whereas in Module 6, Business Analysis, Information and Management, we explore, learn how to organize, store, and manage business analysis information effectively. We also covered traceability, accessibility, and reuse to support better collaboration and decision making. To make it easier to follow along, each tutorial video is numbered sequentially. If you ever need a quick refresher or clarification, you can easily revisit any previous tutorial at your convenience. All supporting documents and useful links are readily available in video description for quick and easy access. Now, welcome to Module 7 and Tutorial 19 Risk and Dependencies. In this session, we will explore how to identify risk and manage dependencies for project success. We will also see techniques like risk register, SWOT analysis, root cause analysis, fishbone diagram, 5 whys method, and Gantt chart. So, without further delay, let's get started with Tutorial 19. Risk are potential events or conditions that, if they occur, could have a negative impact on the project objective, such as timeline, cost, or quality. So, here actually we are talking about anything that might happen and disturb our project goal. Means we can consider like going over budget or missing deadlines or not delivering what was exactly expected. So risk is something hasn't happened yet, but if it does, it can hurt the project. So we should be ready for such events as well. Then there are uncertainties that could hinder the success of project or initiative. Well, in simple world, risk are uncertainties, things we can't predict fully, but they have the potential to create the trouble, so we need to be very careful. That's why identifying them early is so important. Well, let's see the example. Unexpected regulatory changes or a failure in the technology being used. Well, this is quite good example. Let's say a new law is introduced suddenly and we have to change the process to comply, or maybe the software we are relying on crashes or doesn't perform as expected. So these are real risks that can delay or even stop a project. So such kind of risks are involved in the project. So to mitigate this risk, there are few techniques like risk register, then SWOT analysis, risk matrix is there, then Monte Carlo simulation is there, then most famous root cause analysis, in which there are techniques like fishbone, 5 whys. So we will see all these techniques shortly. Now next is dependencies. Dependencies are relationship between task, activities or components in a project that require one to be completed before other can start or be finished. Well, this means some tasks in a project are linked. One can't begin or end until another one is done. Like you can't, means just I'm giving you the example, like you can't build walls before the foundation is ready, Means this is nothing but a dependency. These links between tasks are what we call dependencies. So these are the links, means without first particular event you can't start the next event. So this is something nothing but a dependency, dependent on previous task, in short. Well, dependencies can be external or internal to the project. Well, we need to understand it very carefully. Some dependencies are within our team or project. We will call them as internal, and others involve outside parties. We call them as external dependencies. Well, with for that we'll take one example. Waiting for feedback from another department is internal. Okay, means this is within the organization we are dependent, within the department we are talking about the department in the organization. Well, while waiting for approval from the government body is external, because government body is not our organization. In one organization there are plenty of department, but we call it as an internal thing. And if something we are approval waiting for the government body, then obviously it is external dependency. So I hope now you got the idea. We will see another example. A dependency might be the need for market research to be completed before launching a product, or relying on third party software integration for key feature in the system. So let's say, means what example here. So let's say we can't launch our product until market research is done. That's a clear dependency we can see. Or maybe our system can't go live until the some external vendor completes their part. Means our product is dependent on some external vendor and they have some role to play into that. If their role is still pending, then we can't go live with the product. So these are typical real life example. We can see internal and external dependencies. So on for the prediction of dependency, or see what are the dependency, there are also few techniques like dependency structure matrix, then Gantt chart, then critical path method. Then here also we can use root cause analysis, like the method like 5 whys, and there is what if scenarios. Now let us check few important techniques of risk and dependencies one by one. Very first is risk register. The risk register documents all identified risk, their likelihood, potential impact, and the action to mitigate them. So basically the risk register is like our risk diary. Now see what risk diary keep with it. It keeps track all of the risk that we have found, how likely they are to happen, how bad they could be, and what we plan to do about them if they occur. So this is nothing but compilation of all this thing is nothing but risk register. It is also assign risk owner to monitor the risk and take necessary action. We don't, means what we are doing in the register, we don't just list the risk. We also make someone responsible for each risk. That way there always a person keeping an eye on it and ready to act if the risk become real. So it become reality. There is a someone who is continuously monitoring the risk. So that's the importance of risk register, and this is very much popular and very important technique we use while working on the risk. Now let us see the sample of risk register. Now let try to actually understand what each column means. Then we will see the entire risk register which we have prepared for loan management system. But right now we need to understand what is the importance of each column. Then very first is risk ID. It is a unique number or code to easily track each risk. So here we are provided risk 001. So this is nothing but a risk ID. Then risk description. It is a short note or what the risk is about. So here the short note is provided. Integration is issue with legacy system causing delay. So this is the risk description provided. Then category, here we need to categorize it, means whether it is technical, financial, or whether it is even operational. So we can see that this is nothing but a technical thing. Then very important, risk owner. As we discussed earlier, we assign it to someone. So the risk owner is the person responsible for keeping an eye on the risk. So here the Benjamin is provided here as a risk owner and he is a IT guy. Now likelihood. So this is very important. It is how likely it is that the risk will happen. So in the scale of 1 to 5 we give it as a 4. Yes, it might happen frequently, that's why the likelihood is on higher side. Then impact, how bad impact it may have. So it would be if the risk means, it if such risk happened, then how much it can get worsen the thing, something like that we can consider it as a impact. Then a risk score. Now see risk score, how it is calculated. It is nothing but a multiplication of likelihood point versus impact point. So here we can see that it is 20. 4 into 5 equals to 20. So risk score is very high. Then now a very important column here, mitigation plan. Here it is nothing but steps well, means what mitigation plans means, it is nothing but steps well taken to reduce the chances of the risk happening. So what are the steps in our case? Conduct the early pilot testing and allocate extra resources. So if we mitigate it early, then we can avoid or control this risk, something like that. Then contingency plan means, see, risk are in few cases the risk are inevitable. So backup actions have means it is nothing but a plan, or it is a backup action if the risk does happen anyway. So what happened in that case? Then manual data entry as a fallback. If something happened, then try manual data entry. Then the status of this risk means current state, whether it is open, close, or being monitored, something like that. So this risk is open. Then date of identification. So it is identified at first Feb of 25, and the next review will be taken on the 15th Feb of 25, where we will check out the risk again to update it details. So in this way we can say that risk register is created. We will see in the detail risk register, no need to worry. Let's see how to use the risk register as BA. Well, identify risk early means work with stakeholder like IT team, compliance, operations, security to identify risk before they become a major issue. Then a regulatory update means update the register, something like that. Set review dates to check if risks are resolved or require further actions. Then prioritize risk using the risk score. Well, we have seen how risk score is calculated. It is likelihood versus impact. So this is the parameter we said. Generally it depends upon organization. Okay, so it's not like that 10 15 to 25 is measured in your organization. It is just a sample size I have provided. High risk score 15 to 25 needs immediate action. Medium risk score 10 to 15 requires monitoring and mitigation. Low risk score, that is 1 to 10, can be monitored with a minor actions. These are not that much serious. So in this way we need to prioritize risk. Then assign risk owners and track the status. Well, we have seen in the column that in that particular table that ensure each risk has a clear owner responsible for mitigation and resolution. We have provided Benjamin, who is IT guy, there for that particular risk. Then communication risk to stakeholder. This is very, very important. Regularly share the risk register with product manager and project teams to align the expectations. So this is something we need to do regularly as a BA. Now let's see full size risk register for loan management system which we have created. And here you can see there are 4 to 5 risks are identified. First we have already seen. Let us see risk 003, loan officer registering new LMS adoption. So this is operational. So the risk owner is assigned here. Then likelihood is assigned 3, impact is 4. So by multiplication we get the risk score, which is 12. We can say that it is medium. Then what are the mitigation plan? Provide training session and highlight the benefit. Then contingency plan here, roll out loan management system in phase to reduce the resistance from the loan officers. Status is open, date identified is given, next review is also given. So in this way, risk by risk, whatever the risk we have identified, we noted it down. Then we assign the category, assign the risk owner, we calculate the risk score, we provide mitigation plan, contingency plan there, then status, and we also provide the dates as well. So overall we can say that the risk register is basically our go-to tool for keeping track all the possible risk in a project. It helps us to stay organized, know who's handling what, and be ready with a plan if thing goes sideways. Instead of planning later, we stay prepared from the start, and that makes the whole project run a lot smoother. So this is all about risk register. Now let's move to another technique which we will use to identify the risk, and that is SWOT analysis. Well, SWOT analysis is kind of generic technique. It is used everywhere, means right from the start of the project till the end of the project. At various phases we can use the SWOT analysis. Here we are using for the risk identification. So SWOT analysis is a strategic planning tool used to evaluate an initiative or project, identifying, as for strength, internal factors that give the project an advantage. So these are things we are already good at, like strong team, skills, good funding, or solid technology or solid tech team that helps the project move forward smoothly. Then weakness, W, internal challenges or limitation that may hinder the success. These are our own problem areas, maybe lack of experience, limited resource, or outdated tools, things that could slow down if not fixed properly. So such risk we need to identify. These are the weakness. Then opportunities, here external factors that can benefit the project, we need to identify it. Well, these are the positive things happening outside the project, like a growing market or a new technology that we can take advantage of it. Then threats, external risk or challenges that could impact the success. Then these are outside issues that might cause trouble, like new competitor, changing regulations, or economic shift. So in this way we need to identify the strength, weakness, opportunities, and threats. Now let's try how to use SWOT analysis as a BA. Well, leverage strengths. Highlight means what we are doing, highlight the benefits to decision makers to justify investment. Here, what BA do, we focus on what we are already doing well, like automating process, and use that to convince stakeholder why the project is worth investing. So we are leveraging our strength here. Then next is mitigate weakness. Well, suggest phased implementation to reduce upfront cost. So if there are weak spots like high initial cost, then we handle them smartly. May break the project into smarter phases, so it gets easier to manage financially. So in this way we mitigate the weakness. Then capitalize on opportunities, means the whatever the opportunities are in market, with like research AI tools for better risk assessment and fraud detection. So when we spot good opportunities like new tools, then we explore them and see how they can add value, like improving risk checks and catching fraud early. And the last is address threats. So work with stakeholder to ensure the system meets regulatory requirements. So what we identify here, the potential threats like compliance issues, and we don't wait for problem. Instead of, we involve stakeholder early to make sure we are following the all rules. So in this way we can use SWOT analysis as a BA. And now let's try to implement this SWOT analysis in loan management system and see how it works. So we will start with our strength. So what are the strength while we are working on the loan management system? So automation of loan processing, this is our strength. Impact it gets on loan management system, faster loan disbursement, improved efficiency. So possible action plan, optimize the workflow automation using AI for document verification. So these are the strength, and we need to make it more stronger. Then weakness, high initial cost. So this is the weakness of project. So increase what it may impact on loan management system, increase financial burden on the bank, means the no major bank for which we are working, it may get financial burden. Then possible action plan. So what is the now action, possible action for the to overcome this weakness? Gradual rollout, seeking cost effective cloud gradual rollout and seeking cost effective cloud solution, means first is gradual, we need to roll out phase by phase, and try to find out the servers, cloud based server which are cost effective. So this may lays the burden, financial burden on from the bank. Then next is opportunities. Here opportunities, that AI based credit risk analysis. So what it may get impact, reduce non-performing loans, means the non-performing loans may get removed if we apply this particular AI based credit risk analysis. So possible actions that integrate AI model for risk evaluation, because someone who is not able to repay the loan, if we eliminate such customer very early, then definitely it reduces the risk. And the last is threats are fintech competition. Well, impact on loan management system, on that customers may switch to faster competitor, means this is another threat, that if any other fintech company with good technology is working there, then may our customer may leave our organization. So customers are very important in the bank, in every or in every business it is important, not about only bank. Then what are the possible action plan? Optimize system speed, so make it more user friendly, make it more fast. Then simplify customer onboarding, means it is eliminating the complicated onboarding process for the customer, it make it more easy and convenient. So overall, what we see in SWOT analysis, it is like a smart game plan. Okay, so it helps us to make the most what we are good at, fix what's holding us back, grab any good chances out there, and stay ready for anything that could go wrong. It gives us a clear picture of where we stand and help us take better for more confident decision moving forward. So this is all about SWOT analysis. Now let's move to another technique of risk and dependency, and this time it is root cause analysis. This is one of the most important technique while we working on the risk identification. Root cause analysis is a systematic problem solving technique used to identify the underlying cause of an issue rather than just treating its symptoms. What exactly here written is that instead of just fixing what on the surface, RCA means root cause analysis helps us dig deeper to find out what's really causing the problem. Well, if I want to make it generalized, then a root cause analysis, what it is nothing but fixing the root, not just trimming the leaves. So that's much important root cause analysis carries. Well, RCA helps in diagnosing problems before they escalate, ensure smooth operation and regulatory compliance. Well, it is super helpful because it lets us catch and fix issues early on, keeping things running smoothly and making sure we stay on the right side of rules and regulations. So now let us check root cause analysis component. Very first is problem identification. Here we clearly define the issue or risk that needs to be investigated. So what it is nothing but basically nail down exactly what going wrong before you start digging it. Then next is data collection. Gather all facts, logs and observation related to the problem. Means what we are thinking here, look at everything, what happened, where happened, when happened, and how to get the full picture of everything. This is nothing but data collection. And the next is root cause identification and verification. Here we analyze the data to find out what actually caused the problem. What actually we try to detect the issue which causes the problem. Means we want to go to the root of that particular problem. And now pay close attention here what exactly I am trying to tell. It's not just about spotting the root cause, we also need to verify it. Means that means double checking to make sure we are actually found the real issue and we are not just making some assumption. So it's not like that identifying the spotting the problem, we need to verify it. We want to be we want to be confident we have nailed the actual culprit before jumping into solution. Otherwise keeping means finding anything and telling that this is the root cause, it will not solve problem, because it will surface some one or some other day and it will again cause the issue. So once we identified the root cause, then we need to verify it very well. Then next is, once we identified corrective actions, plan and apply solution that directly addresses the root cause. Now we fix it properly so it doesn't happen again, not just a temporary patch. Means what we are talking, we are not giving just temporary patch here. I am again repeating, if it is we provide temporary patch there, then it will resurface one or other day. So we need to provide some good solution there, permanent solution there. And the last is preventive measures. Here we put things in place to stop simpler issues from occurring in the future. So things it like a further proofing. Make sure the some mistake doesn't come back again and again. So we trying to prevent, keeping the preventing measure for that particular issue. Now let's move to the technique for which we are everyone waiting. That is fishbone diagram or Ishikawa diagram, which is root cause analysis technique for identification of risk. A fishbone diagram, also called as Ishikawa diagram or cause and effect diagram, is a visual tool used in a root cause analysis. It helps to identify and categorize potential causes of problem, making it easier to find the root cause. It looks like a fish skeleton, that's why it is called as fish bone diagram. And the skeleton is, see how it is divided. Here we can see the head represent the problem, then bones represent different categories of causes, and each category branches out into specific sub causes. Now let's try to implement this fishbone diagram into real world loan management system, and let's see how fishbone diagram helps to identify the causes of problem. So very first we will draw the head of the fish, and in the head we will write down the main problem. So the main problem is customer data breach. So it is nothing but leakage of customer data from the bank side. So this is very severe issue. This is very serious issue, we can say that, and this is the main problem which we have identified. Now let's try to write down the causes of this particular problem, and we will write down the main cause. So first cause is people, means human related issue. Maybe people might be someone who may be responsible for breaching the data. Then next is process, means this is identified into operational issue. This is also another cause of customer data breach. Then technology, status, system related issues, means these are the main causes. Okay, we will dive into sub causes also. Technology may be outdated, something like that, this might also cause the data breach. And the last is environment, that is external threats which are coming onto the system, which can attack the system, something like that we can say. So overall we have identified four main cause and shown by four main bones of the fish. As we have seen all the main causes of customer data breach, now it's time to see sub causes of each main cause. So very first we will go for human related issue, and it might be the sub causes, maybe the poor training to the to the loan officer, something like that, to the employee of the bank, so it may cause the data breach. Then phishing risk is there. Then insider threats to the company, insider threats to the organization. So these are some human related issues which we have identified. Then operational issues, means weak encryption, then no security audits are happening. Then weak access control, means not roles are clearly identified, everyone is having same access, something like that may cause the under cause, means lie under the operational issues. And then we will go to technology, means system related issues. So weak firewalls, unpatched bugs, then outdated software. This is also the causes may consider as a technology causes, and may cause the customer data breach. So many cause here, means it's getting repeated. And the last is environment, external threats. So third party and vulnerabilities, then regulatory changes, then cyber attacks. So these are also considered as external threats. So in this way we can say that the fishbone diagrams are super useful when we are trying to figure out all the possible reasons a problem might happen. It breaks things down into categories like people, processes, tools and environment. It helps us visually map out root cause, making it easier to spot where the risks are coming from. Once we have identified those risks, we can plan better mitigation strategies to reduce the chances of them happening, and also create contingency plan just in case they still do. Basically, it gives us a full picture upfront so we are not caught off guard later. So this is the importance of Fishbone, or we can say that this is the importance of identification of risk. Now let's move and see few techniques which are related to dependencies. And very first is Gantt chart. Gantt chart is a visual project management tools that displays tasks, their duration and dependency over a timeline. So it is very interesting actually. Think of like a calendar for your project. It shows who's doing what for how long and in what order. Basically, it's handy tool that keeps everyone on the same page throughout the project. And let's check it how it helps business analysis one by one. Well, Gantt chart helps in plan, schedule, and track project process. You can lay out tasks, see what's coming next, and check if everything on track or slipping behind. So Gantt chart helps us in this way. Gantt chart also helps in identifying task dependencies. Well, it shows which task need to be done before others can start, so nothing gets stuck waiting. Well, this chart also helps in monitor project deadline and critical path. Means what does it mean? Helps spot important deadlines and the tasks that absolutely can't be delayed without affecting the whole project. And in the last, we can say that Gantt chart helps in improve collaboration between teams. Well, since means what does it mean? Since everything laid out, clearly, different teams can coordinate better and avoid stepping on each other's toes. So this is where Gantt chart can help the BA. Now let us see few importance quickly. Well, it used to track progress for each module of the project. So we can, what does it mean? We can see how each part of the system is moving. For example, tracking the status of the loan application module versus the EMI calculation module. Means there are two parallel work is going on, or parallel modules are going on in the same project. So we are tracking which module is at what place right now. Then identify task dependencies. It helps us figure out what needs to be done first, like completing the loan eligibility rules before starting the loan approval workflow. Means here we, what in short, what I am trying to tell you, it helps us to which workflow, which particular module should be come first, which come later, something like that is decided using the this particular chart. Then allocate resources effectively. Well, this is very important. We can assign the right people to right task. Says, means let us consider giving the API integration work to tech team while BA teams handles UI validation rule. Means when it comes to testing or something like that, or any other task, so we can identify which people can do which work. So in this way we can use the Gantt chart. Then last is ensure timely delivery by setting the milestone. Well, milestone helps us to stay on schedule. For example, if we consider that setting a target date for completion of the loan disbursal module or UAT phase. So which time this particular delivery should happen. So this is something which is we can see visually on the Gantt chart. So that's why it is very important. Now let's explore more with Gantt chart. Well, see here we can say that we have prepared a Gantt chart for loan management implementation. Means this is not again the Gantt chart, this is just a preparation table, and I'll explain what exactly we have prepared right now. Phase 1, that is project planning, week 1 to 2. Just see the screen carefully. Means what actually I am trying to tell you, it is very important. Once you understand this thing, then it will be very easy. So phase 1, that is project planning. It will, duration of this particular plan is 2 weeks, that is week 1 and 2. Here we can see there is no dependencies here. In this phase we plan the overall project, define timelines, roles, tools and scope. Well, why this is important? Because this is the foundation of everything. Without a solid plan, the next step can get messy. Means if you don't have the solid plan, then you ready for the get messed up. Then phase 2, requirement gathering, week 2 to 4 and duration as 2, and dependency is now dependency increased to 1. Means it is depend upon something. Let's see what exactly it is. The BA team gathers functional and non-functional requirement, conducts stakeholder interviews, workshops, uses techniques like brainstorming or document analysis. During this phase I am talking about. But remember one thing, what exactly going on, because you know what is requirement gathering. Here I am not interested in explaining you. I am explaining you the context of this particular thing in the Gantt chart. Remember this thing, that this can't start without a proper project plan, because we need clarity and scope, timeline, and stakeholder alignment first. So requirement gathering is completely depend on project planning. So that is nothing but dependency. So using Gantt chart, we can visualize this. We will see how to prepare it. Just I am trying to tell you, and I guess that you are now able to understand what are the dependencies. Then next is system design. Week 4 to 6 system design will happen. In this phase, the technical and UI UX team designs the system architecture, use interfaces and data flow. Well, this design depends completely on the requirement phase. We can see that means if we are designing something, we are trying to create the architecture for the software. We want UI UX, then user interface, data flow. We need to decide. If we don't have the requirement properly, then how we can say that we designing something? So the design depends completely on the requirement phase, because if requirement aren't clear, how do we even know what to design? So again, it is a dependency. We can say that it is dependent of previous two. Then phase 4, development. Week 6 to 9, in this particular time duration, development will happen. The actual coding actually begins here. Developers start building the modules like loan application, repayment schedule, then credit bureau check, something like that. Whatever the modules are there, the developers start developing. But the thing is that this phase is again not possible without design is locked. Means at the previous stage which we are talking, if it is not clear, then the developer can't even touch the code. And of course, if design or requirement changes, then the development work is also gets changed. So development is completely dependent of requirement and system design. Then next is phase 5, testing and QA. Here week 9 to 10, in this phase this will happen. Tester now validate if the system works as I expected. Functional testing, regression, UAT, something like that. This thing happened here. Then again, how it is depend means the dependencies of this particular phase is that can't test what not build. Means in the development phase, it is yet to be built. We are in the week 9th and developer are not ready, then what tester do? So again, we can say that it is again it depends on the development. Then compliance approval, phase number 6. The compliance team checks if the system follows all necessary rules, regulation and data standard. Well, when the testing get passed, then only compliance team again comes into the picture. So again, we can say that it is again dependent of testing. And the deployment phase means here whatever we have created, now we try to push it in the production, push it in the live environment. Then again, without the approval of compliance team, without we can't push anything into the production. For compliance team approval, testing should be completed. For testing, development should be completed. For developer, the requirements and the system design should be clear. And for good requirement, project planning should be very very much solid. So everything is dependent on each other, and we can see in this particular table. Okay, before I move forward, if you have any doubt regarding what is software development life cycle or system development life cycle, then you can check our tutorial 3. The link is in the description. You will get all the phases, understanding of all these phases in deep. And now let's create the Gantt chart for loan management system. And very first step is identify key milestone. Okay, we have identified the key milestone. In the first week, project kickoff will happen. Then up to week 4, requirement might need to be completed. Up to week 9, development should be completed. And loan management system should go live in the 11th week. So in this way, we have identified all these things. And now go graphically. Let's visualize it. So you can see that phases are in columns, first column, and the weeks are put it into the first row, and see how we can draw it. So in this way it is drawn. Means project planning 1 to 2, make it marked, we make it dark, it something like that, painted it that particular portion. Then week 3 to 4 it is allotted to the requirement gathering. Now when we see the requirement gathering, is there anything previous to requirement gathering? Yes, we can say that to requirement gathering there is something previously already mentioned. So that's why requirement gathering is dependent of project planning, which should happen in week first and week second. Then next is system design. Is the system design is dependent of again project planning and requirement gathering, which happened during week number 1 to 4. So if we want to work in the week 5, then our first 4 week are properly capitalized and finish the task of project planning and requirement gathering. That's in then only we will be able to design the system in week 5 and 6. And now most important, the phase is week 6 to week 9, which is the development. In the if in this phase you can see that within the system design work, development is started, but week 5 is very much crucial for development. If week 5 doesn't able to provide the requirement which is needed for development, then week 6 will not be utilized for development work and everything get messed up. So in this way we are tracking everything on the chart. And next is testing and QA. Well, here we can say that while towards the end of development, testing and QA started, but first 2 week for the developments are very much important. If developer develop a proper system for the tester or QA, then they can start their work in the week 9, and up to week 10 they will ready with UAT testing. Then compliance approval comes under week 10, and it is again dependent of testing. If tester are able to test it properly right from the beginning of the week, then they provide it to the compliance team for the approval. And in the last, if we want to deploy it in the 11th week, then our week 10, 9 up to week 1 are properly utilized. So here we can say that each phase is dependent of previous, and to make it a successful project we should capitalize every week slot which is provided to the phase like project planning to deployment. So here we can say that this is the visualization of Gantt chart. We'll move forward again and analyze also what is Gantt chart for loan management system. So sequential dependency. Well, you can see that each phase relies on the completion of the previous one. If even one step is delayed, the whole project timeline gets pushed, like it is like a chain reaction. That's why managing dependency and staying on schedule is very much important. Then next is critical path. Well, again you can see here the longest path through the dependent task determine the project completion time. What does it mean? If any task on this path like development takes more time, the whole project gets delayed. That's why tracking this key task is a super important for on time delivery. So this is considered as a critical path in our a project, that is development phase. Then parallel tasks, we have seen that there are few tasks which are goes parallel, means this is for the saving time smartly. Some tasks don't always have to wait for each other, they can run a side by side, like testing and compliance approval can both happen during week 9 to 10 to speed up the things up. So this way we can save the time and keep the project moving without delays. So in this way we can analyze the dependency using the Gantt chart. So in conclusion, we can say that Gantt chart isn't just a timeline. It's a smart way to visually map out tasks, track progress, and see how everything connects. It helps us to understand which task depends on others, spot potential delays early, and make sure the project flows smoothly from start to finish. In short, it's go-to tool for managing dependency and keeping everyone on track. Then next is another technique of dependency, and this root cause analysis technique can be used for identification of risk. This can be used for identification of dependencies as well. So we are using it for the dependency purpose, but you can use it everywhere. So 5 whys analysis, very important and used widely in the industry. The 5 whys is a simple root cause analysis technique where we keep asking why, usually 5 times, until we reach the real root of problem. It's like being a means what does it mean? It's like being a curious detective trying to get the bottom of what really went wrong. So here we keep asking them why up till until we get the root of that particular cause. Now let us see how 5 whys helps us identifying the root cause of system failures, inefficiencies and dependency. Well, instead of guessing, we dig deeper and get the actual reason something failed. Then avoiding symptom based solution by focusing on actual problem. This means that we don't want to just patch up the things up. We want to fix the real problem. And last, improving process efficiency and decision making. Means once we know the actual cause, it's easier to take smart action and avoid the future mistakes. So in this way 5 analysis can be useful. Now let's implement these 5 whys into our loan management system and see how it helps. So example is that loan management approval delayed due to compliance dependency. It is observed that there is too much compliance dependency and it is delaying the loan management system's approval. So problem statement comes that loan approval are delayed causing customer dissatisfaction. So we don't know the issue behind that. We come up with the problem statement that loan approval are delayed. Now we will apply 5 whys and get to root of this particular issue. So see how 5 analysis works here. So very first question we see, why is the loan approval process is delayed? So answer comes because the compliance check takes too long. Means this is something questions we ask to the stakeholder or some other people which are related to the process. Then next, why does the compliance check take too long? Means in the first we got the answer that compliance check is taking too long, that's why approval getting delayed. Then we again ask, then why compliance checking is taking too long? The answer come because the system requires manual document verification. So we come to something nearby that okay, manual document verification is causing the issue. Then we again go deeper, why does the system require manual verification? Then because of the loan management system is not integrated with the external compliance database. Means we are consider that there is a database which is compliance management is happening in different database and our loan management system is yet to connect with that particular database. That's why the manual verification is still in the process. Then why is the LMS not integrated with the external compliance database? Again we are asking. So because the IT team faced technical challenges in API integration. So we come to near that we found that there are few challenges in the API integration. That's why it is not connected to database. That's why still the manual document verification process is there and which is delaying the compliance check and approval getting delayed. So again we ask that why did the IT team face challenges in API integration? So because the initial project scope did not include the automated compliance checks. So with this we have identified the root cause. So the root cause is that lack of integration with external compliance database was not considered in the initial project scope. So we missed in initial project scope that integration with external database is not considered. Now let's see solution based on 5Y analysis. Well, automate compliance check means integrate a loan management system with regulatory database to reduce manual verification. Then improve initial project planning because our roadmap was not properly maintained. That's why the issue arises. So improve initial project planning. Then enhance IT collaboration. So involve of IT team earlier addresses integration challenges. If we involve this IT team earlier, then this particular thing should not be happen or avoided. Then optimize the workflow, use parallel processing so compliance checks and credit check plans do simultaneously. So in this way, using the 5 whys, we can identify, mitigate the risk, or we can say the dependencies as well. So in this way we can say that 5 why is super simple but powerful technique. By just asking whys a few times, we get past surface level issues and uncover what's really causing the problem. It helps us fixing things properly, not temporarily, and leads to smarter decision and smoother process. Now let us check importance of risk and dependency. First, ensuring project success. Early risk dependencies management prevents delay and failure. So it is project success is ensured by risk identification of risk and dependencies. Then enhance decision making. Then it helps in optimizing workflow efficiency. It helps also in minimizing uncertainties. Then improving resource allocation. Then strengthening collaboration, and finally supporting business growth and innovation. So overall we can say that risk and dependency, identification of risk and dependencies, mitigating it is very very important in the success of project. So with this we can say that we have moderately seen all the techniques which are involved in identification and mitigate the risk and dependency, and now let's move to the conclusion of this tutorial. To sum up, keeping track of risk and dependencies helps us avoid surprises. It lets us plan better and stay prepared for what might go wrong as well. As a BA, it's our job to flag this early and keep everyone informed. And in the end, it's all about, making the project run smoother and smarter. Now, I hope you have a clear understanding how identify risk and dependency in a project, along with how to mitigate them and create contingency plan to handle uncertainties as well. With this, we have successfully completed module 7 as well. Up next in module 8, we will dive into topics like user stories, use cases, data requirement, then user roles permission, interface integration, then error handling and validation. So as usual, before we wrap up, just one last thought to leave you with. Thanks immensely for sticking around. If this video helped you even a little, don't forget to hit that like button, share it with your friends and drop any questions in the comments. I love hearing from you. And most importantly, smash that subscribe button so we can keep exploring the awesome world of business analysis together. Catch you in the next one. Thank you very much.